There we go. And for that little graphic to tell me that we're live, happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. And thank you for joining us for another afternoon devotion as we continue this walk through the 12 disciples. So, check in, say hi. Let me know who's watching, know what you are thankful for. I see Luke is here, and he is thankful for Legos. Alec and Eric check in. Alec thankful for his cousin. Eric thankful for swimming. I love that, guys. So appreciate that. Rejoicing with you in those things for sure. I'm just thankful for a really good day at church yesterday. It was really blessed and encouraged by my friend Mark Emerson's message yesterday. If you guys weren't able to be at church and haven't yet, definitely check out the video online. That was a good day. So, all right, let's talk about, because it's that time, quarter teen games. So last time our question was, what year was Amelia Earhart's solo flight over the Atlantic? Because she was the first woman to do that. So what year did she do that in? The correct answer was 1932. I'm just honest. I'm just kind of feeling kind of generous today. So we're going to go with the two closest guesses. Emmy had 1959. Beth had 1964. Those were our two closest. So congrats to Emmy and Beth. They each get a quarter. So nice job, ladies, on the Amelia Earhart question. Double bonus. I like that. So today we're going to go, I don't know, kind of random, honestly. So just recently, one of the female elephants at the St. Louis Zoo had a baby. I say little elephant, they're still huge. So it got me thinking, all right, so because elephants have the longest gestation period of any animal. So that, like, if they're pregnant, it takes the longest time of any animal to actually have the baby. So question for you today, in days, what is the gestation period of an elephant? How long is an elephant pregnant for? In days. There's your question. So let me know what you think. All right, so let's get into our actual devotion, Bible study. So we're going to talk today about Judas, but not that Judas. All right, so our 11th disciple to talk about, his name was, depending on which list or what story you're reading about, he is referred to as either Judas or Thaddeus. So what we think is that Judas would have been his birth name, and Thaddeus would have been more like a nickname. So something probably based on his character that he would have sort of earned. And certainly, especially after the fact, he probably would appreciate, and others did a good job of separating him from the other Judas the traitor, who we will talk about on Wednesday. So yes, birth name Judas, which means praise. His nickname was Thaddeus, which sort of means large-hearted. If you want to go a little bit figurative with that, could mean courageous. And so probably a guy that was known for, courage, compassion, big heart. So, which I think is, a compliment to him and his character. Sorry, I hate it when I do that. So I want to read a really quick story about him that I think it's really the only story that mentions him specifically. And so I want to get the specifics of that, because I think this is really about the only chance we have to really get some insight into his character and what we learn from him in the Bible. So this is from John chapter 14. I'm going to read 18 through 22 real quick. So it says, so Jesus is talking, says, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world will see me no more, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. In that day you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. Whoever has my commandments and keeps them, he it is who loves me. And he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him. Reveal myself to him would be another way to say that. Judas, not Iscariot, so this is who we're talking about, okay? Thaddeus, said to him, Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us and not to the world? So this is not this question. How is it that you're going to reveal yourself or manifest yourself to us, but not to the rest of the world? Jesus, how is that going to happen? So what is he asking? What does this mean? Okay, so I think a couple of options. I think we may have a deal where he's showing love, concern for the world. He wants them to know Jesus as well. And so Jesus, how are you going to reveal yourself to us and not them? That doesn't make sense. We want them to know you as well. Maybe this is just a deal where he just didn't really get the spiritual meaning of what Jesus was talking about and just sort of asking for clarification. So he wants to know. He's willing to speak up and ask questions, which is a good example to us. If we don't understand, then let's admit we don't understand. Let's ask. And Jesus answered. So what does he say? In verse 23, Jesus answered him, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him." But the key part of that to me is the very beginning. If anyone loves me, then we'll come to him. So Thaddeus asked this question, how are you going to reveal yourself to us, but not to the world? And Jesus says, look, if anyone loves me, if anyone has faith in me, then they'll be saved. They will have fellowship with the Father and myself, is what Jesus is saying here. And so Thaddeus's question leads to this really proclamation of the gospel, that anyone who trusts in Jesus and loves Jesus will have a relationship with him and have eternal life. So I appreciate Thaddeus's willingness to speak up and ask questions, and we get really good, helpful clarification of the gospel and what Jesus is talking about because Thaddeus is willing to speak up and ask that question. For what it's worth, this passage and really those couple of verses there really have some good connections with what we're going to talk about and study Wednesday night. So I encourage you guys, maybe as you read 1 John 1 and 2 in preparation for Wednesday night, read these few verses here in John chapter 14, starting in verse 18. I think you'll see some connections there with what John wants us to know about Jesus' teaching. So let's talk about Thaddeus sort of later in life after Jesus goes back to heaven. What did he do? What was he about? A lot of traditions say that he traveled and preached with Simon the Zealot, who we talked about last time, that they sort of partnered up and worked together. There's one really cool story about him that he traveled north to a city called Edessa, which is in what we would call Turkey, sort of eastern Turkey, northern Mesopotamia, that area, and healed the king of Edessa. And what's really interesting about this is a guy named Eusebius, who was a well-known Christian historian, lived around the year 300. So not too long after these guys in terms of all of history. I think we can be confident in the reliability of this stuff. Eusebius said that the archives in Edessa had a full account of both the fact that Thaddeus came and visited and also that he healed the king. So interesting that even not too long after that, the secular archives in the history of that city showed that this actually happened, that he went there, he proclaimed the gospel, and he actually healed the king, which is pretty cool. So as far as his death, like all the other apostles up until the other Judas that we'll talk about Wednesday, he was killed for his faith. Some stories say he was clubbed to death. Some say he was that was the last one, that he was executed with an axe, either clubbed to death or executed with an axe. So again, we have another of these guys that are gruesomely killed, but willing to go through whatever it took to proclaim the gospel. And what a good example to us in that. So anyway, that's it for this one. We will wrap it up on Wednesday with Judas Iscariot, the traitor. And then on Friday, we'll get to start our new series on women in the Bible, which I'm excited to go through with you guys too. So that may be our last one in terms of doing these. We may shift to some other video stuff after that, and once school kind of gets back in and that sort of stuff, but we'll see where that goes. So anyway, that's it for today. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday afternoon, hopefully Wednesday evening too. Have a great week. I love you guys. We'll see you later.